Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane if you're new here, and we talk about estrangement. Estrangement, I guess from any family member, I am estranged from my adult son. And I think a lot of us are estranged from our adult children. So today, I first want to say that I apologize if I look a little pasty today. I have a rash on my face, so I'm not wearing any makeup. I just didn't want it to irritate my rash. I'm allergic to something. I do have sensitive skin, so there's something I'm allergic to. I don't know. I'm trying to treat it myself and not go to the doctor, but I may end up having to go to the doctor later in the week. So today is Wednesday, and I'd like to get this video up maybe tomorrow, which is Thursday, because Friday, instead of doing a video for this channel, I'm thinking about doing something from my other channel, which I have pretty much ignored for a long time, my shopping channel. So I may do something with them on Friday if I don't have to go to the doctor's for this rash. I'm feeling a little under the weather along with it, so I'm a little bit concerned. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Say a prayer for me, guys, okay? That, it's just an allergic reaction to something. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Like I said, I have very sensitive skin. But that is why I may look a little pasty today. Also, I'm doing something new. This video is being recorded on my iPad. And I think, people have told me that iPads have excellent cameras. So I'm doing it on the iPad today. And I don't have a tripod, so I'm kind of just propping it up, which, anyway, if I like doing this, I'll definitely get a tripod for my iPad. But okay, let's get into today's video and today's subject. I was watching a program a few nights ago, and it was very interesting, and it gave me the idea, actually, for this video. And it was about a mother and a daughter, and the daughter was grown, and the mother, needless to say, she was a piece of work. No judgment here, I'm a recovering alcoholic, but she was a former drug user. And apparently, she struggled with that on and off for years. And the daughter didn't have the best relationship with her mother, let's put it that way. But I think the daughter wanted to have more of a relationship with the mother. But the mother, she had her own thing going on all the time. It was usually a boyfriend du jour, if you know what I mean. So she went from one boyfriend to another and to another, and she really didn't see her daughter for years at a time. Now, this was the mother doing this, okay, not the daughter. But the daughter was on to her. She was on to her ways, and she was less than thrilled with her mother, to put it mildly. So her mother meets a man who she gets very serious about, and the man, the fiancé, if you will, he decides, he really wants to meet this daughter of his fiancé. Like, why aren't you introducing me? Why don't you see your daughter? What's going on? So he keeps pestering her, so, like it's not normal. What's going on with you and your daughter? So the mother doesn't want to come across as looking like the bad guy or, anything, because she wants to marry this guy, right? So all of a sudden she starts hanging around her daughter. And her daughter was onto it. And she says, I know what you're doing. He's been wanting to meet me, and that's why you're coming around, to stay on the good side of him so you still look like a good mother and, a good guy. So it got me thinking. It really, really got me thinking, because I feel that, and I'll never know this for sure, and I'm sure a lot of you go through this as well, or have gone through this, that the significant other seem to really, really be the catalyst for our estrangement from our adult child. I'm going to try not to scratch. But, sorry. But, we feel that, I have always felt that. I don't lay it, like I said, I don't lay the blame totally on her. I would never do that. He's a grown man, and he was a grown man when he met her. But I do feel like when he met her, it was the catalyst. Things started going awry with us. He started finding fault with me all the time. And she never liked me, and I knew that from the start. When somebody does not like you, you get the vibe, you get the feeling, So I started thinking about, okay, so now we're estranged. Now, it's been years. It's been going on 6 years here for me, even though there's been a few texts back and forth. That's about it. What if he met a woman who was a good influence on him, that wanted to meet me, that maybe, started prying and saying, why don't you have a relationship with your mother? You've met my family. Why can't I meet your mom? And they start nudging him and really pushing for it. And he decides, because he wants to be the good guy, that, he'll start contacting me. And I started thinking, like, how would I feel about that? And I'm going to be totally honest. I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't even care what the reason was. I would be so thrilled to be able to, number one, hear his voice again. I haven't heard his voice in years because he will not talk to me on the phone at all. And just to see him. I haven't seen him in years, So, and if he met a nice woman, I'd be so happy, that she was somebody good for him and that she wanted to meet me, and then we could somewhat become a family, and maybe I could get close to her, and in getting closer to her, maybe he would start coming around. And I know that's not the ideal situation, and I know that in that scenario he would be doing it only for her, not me, not out of love for me or caring for me, but for her. And I would be okay with that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a video on this. I'm going to ask you guys, how would you feel about that? I mean, I'm being honest. I don't think there's a right or wrong. If there's a wrong answer, it's probably the one I just gave you. But I don't think I would ever feel that way with any other person on this planet. But my son, I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with it. So how would you feel about it? We are on 8 minutes here. I'm just looking at my iPad. I thought it was an interesting scenario, So let me know what you think in the comments. I guess this is going to be kind of a short video. And like I said, I'm not feeling all that great. And check for me if you enjoy any kind of shopping. What I'm going to do, what I'm planning on doing is getting a haircut on Friday if I don't have to go to the doctor's, and it's nothing. I don't think it's anything contagious. I think it's, allergic reaction to something I ate, some topical thing I used. I'm trying to weed out what new products. But the only new thing is actually a food item that I got. But anyway, I'm not eating that. It was a boxed soup mix. It had the dried beans and the seasoning and the legumes. Is that the way you say that? Legumes, whatever. Just add water, and it was very good, and I enjoyed it, But there's something in there, I do believe, that is just affecting me. I have another channel, and I'd love you to join me over there. The end of this week, I'm going to be putting something out as long as I don't have to go to the doctors for this rash. So it is called Jane Loves to Shop. And that's me, Jane. Jane Loves to Shop. It's a very tiny channel, but even though I've been ignoring it, I'm still getting subscribers and comments. And so it's making me very excited to get back to that and start recording and doing different videos on that side, which is a nice relief actually from doing all this estrangement stuff. And I know it's a sad thing, but we are getting through it together, right? And we're going to be. And I think I'm going to be home on Thanksgiving. I don't think I'm going to be going to my friend's house. She, I don't know, for whatever reason, is thinking about leaving her husband home, which kind of, doesn't, she doesn't need me to go and dog sit for her. And that way her husband, he doesn't really care, he's fine at home as long as she brings him food. He can sit and watch TV, and he's fine with that on Thanksgiving. So my friend will go and have fun. And, so I'm going to be home. So it looks like I will be doing a video from home on Thanksgiving. So please join me for that. Especially if you're feeling lonely, or you're not really doing anything, or even if you do have plans and, the plans end and you come home, check out my video. Okay. So it's not going to be, I can promise you, it's not going to be a real sad one. I don't want to be sad. It's all about getting through Thanksgiving and maybe even enjoying it. And I'm going to tell you what I'm looking forward to doing, no matter whose house I'm at, is I love the fact that they have the Macy's parade. And I have a love-hate relationship with parades, I'm not going to lie. But it's once a year. It's a festive thing. I watch it on and off. Let's put it that way. I don't sit in front of it and watch every second of it. But after that, they have that National Dog Show, and I love that. I love that. Over the last few years, they've been showing that, and I really do enjoy that. I'm an animal lover, so I will definitely be watching that. But I'll be doing the video as well, and I'm going to try to get that video. Not sure, but I'm going to try to get it up early on Thanksgiving. Okay, so hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It is free. If you see the hype button and you like the video and you like my channel, give it a hype. If you don't have the button there, well, I guess you can't. And I'm still trying to figure out that whole thing. But it is what it is, right? So today is Wednesday. I'm going to have this video up on Thursday. Please do something nice for yourself, because you deserve it. You do. Us as parents and estranged people, we need to do something nice for ourselves. And remember that we do count, and we are important. We're important to other people, and we're important to our fur babies, and God loves us. So please do something nice for yourself. And until the next time, God bless.